Good afternoon or good Monday afternoon, everybody. I hope you're doing well. This is Mr. Argueta. We are entering week number 3 in our intro to business. So I have a couple things for you. I want to make sure that we take a look at what happened last week, take a look at how we can improve this week, and so on and so forth. So first of all, thank you for those of you who have put the effort in to give me a solid conversation in our discussion. I appreciate it. I am a harsh grader. I am a tough professor in regards to getting what you're supposed to do done. I just think it's fair. You are in business, so I expect professionalism in regards to your writing and creativity. So, that being out the way, let's talk about it. Last week we talked about government being involved in small business. There was sort of a split. Some of you guys felt that there should be government involvement. Some of you felt that it shouldn't be a government involvement. But there is a concept out there in economics that I want you to be aware of. There are some people who feel that government assistance actually interferes with the progression of business. So business itself has this concept that was established many, many years ago, where you consider this thing called the invisible hand. So the invisible hand, right? And think about it this way: you open up a gas station. There's no gas station in your area, and you open up a gas station, and now you're able to charge basically whatever price you want, because if someone wants gas, they pay whatever they have to pay from you. You ultimately control and dictate the price of that item. But your neighbor then decides, I'm going to go open up a gas station across the street from you, and you're charging $5 a gallon for gas because you feel like in order to get gas somewhere else, they have to travel very far. But to get gas from you, you'll be willing to pay $5. So you charge $5. Then your neighbor opens up and he says, "I see this guy's doing great money, good money. It's called economic profits. You're making money because there's no other business that sells gas. So you're doing good, charging $5 a gallon." Your neighbor says, "I'm going to charge $4 a gallon." Okay, so all your customers see his sale price of $4, and they go over there. They run across the street, and they use his gas station. So you can play the scenario out a couple times. What happens next? What happens next is you lower your price to what? Yes, you're right, $3.50 a gallon. And then those customers the following week come over back to your business. And then he lowers it to $3 a gallon. And then they go back over there, and then back and forth, back and forth. And then what ends up happening is we get to a point that's called equilibrium, where economic profits are no longer existent. We are basically breaking even, maybe making just a little bit of profit, and we charge the customer the appropriate price that keeps us both either in business or barely in business, right? There's strategies you can do there, right? You can take a cost loss. You can sell your price at a loss to go force them out of business. There's a bunch of stuff there, but we're not going to go into that. We're just going to look at the concept of what's called the invisible hand. And the invisible hand is this invisible pressure that's put on you when competition exists. And the concept of let's let business be business and not let the government get involved, it's because we believe that the invisible hand is going to put pressure to force the business owners to be competitive. And that benefits us as buyers. So more competition means a better opportunity for us to get a good deal, right? If everyone's selling it, then everyone's going to keep trying to sell it cheaper to get a profit. And then, of course, we benefit from that. That's the invisible hand. So there's a concept in business, you don't necessarily have to agree, but there's a concept in business that says, don't mess with business. Leave it alone. Let it do what it's going to do. So, for example, another example in the same concept is, what if in the early, 1800s, the carriage companies, the people who used to make carriages for horses, they saw the writing on the wall, and they're like, oh my God, Henry Ford's going to build a car that's going to be accessible to everyone, right? And if we need help from the government to be able to survive, we need the government to bail us out. And this carriage company goes to the government and says, if you guys don't bail us out, we are going to go out of business. We are not going to find a way to survive, because no one's buying our car. So 1896 comes around, Henry Ford creates the Model T, and the carriage companies look around and they say, people are going to start buying this car because the purpose of it was for the everyday person to have a car, and we're going to go out of business. So government, we need you to bail us out. And if the government would have bailed them out, it would have delayed the extinction of carriages, and maybe even postpone the revolution of new cars. So the concept of let business do what business does, right? Let it happen, is a concept that's very accepted in the business world. As I mentioned last week, the survival of the fittest, right? So there's a lot of reasons why you come to school, especially business school, to learn how to innovate, to change, to think, to grow, to analyze, right? To do different things. In my other class, we're doing SWOT analysis. You should have done this already, right? A SWOT analysis. You analyze your company and the environment in which it's in to be able to continuously improve upon that. So that's the reason why we're in school. So I hope you're taking advantage of these lessons and not just Googling some answers and throwing them in there, because there's no point in that. That's not going to benefit you. And unfortunately, when you get out to the real world, they're going to know that. They're not going to hire you when you don't know what you're doing. So if you don't take advantage of this opportunity where you're learning it, where you're getting exposed to this, then what's going to happen is you're just going to fake and lie to yourself, not to anyone else, to you. Because if you don't know this stuff out there, they're going to know. They're going to know very quickly. So anyhow, enough of the lecture. Here's what I am expecting this week. This week, we're talking about becoming a better leader. So leadership, of course, is an important concept, right? So leadership, at one point, we used to think, and there's a class that you will take in management called leadership, where it breaks down the different styles and concepts of leadership. In this one, I want you to explore yourself. I want you to look at yourself and find out, suggest 3 things you found that you can choose to improve on your leadership skills. So please, don't define a leader to me. Tell me what skill that you're going to do and focus on to be a better leader. Now, I want you to know I read every single post. So if you're not taking time to really compose something good, I'm not going to give you credit for it. I'm just not, because I've told you before, like, this is a big part of the grade. I view this as a very important part of your grade. So watch out for that. Make sure you're getting all your points. Make sure you're getting as many as you can, because this is a huge, huge part of your grade. All right. That said, let's see. This week we are working in folder number 3, which is chapter 7 and 8. We're about teamwork and communication, and managing operations and supply chain. So some of you guys are taking logistics. Chapter 8 really tackles that concept of it. Chapter 7 really deals with the communication concepts, organizations, and teamwork, which is a environment in business that we deal with, working with teams. So looking forward to your post, guys. I'll give you a coffee tip for the day. Last week I showed you, I think, the Bustelo brand coffee, which is a Caribbean blend. This is a unique spin on that. If you've ever had a mocha is basically a coffee mixed with hot chocolate. This is a Spanish version of that. a mocha, and it is Bustelo's Café con Chocolate, which is coffee with chocolate. So that's what I'll be having here after I'm done with posting your video. It's been actually kind of gloomy this weekend. It was raining yesterday, Sunday. Today is a decent day. I got the unfortunate news yesterday that I bought a dog for my son when he was younger, and as the dog got older, we gave it to my father who lives in Chicago. And my father was that was my father's dog at these latter years, but it turns out he had to be put down yesterday. So my dad's really struggling. So your thoughts for him and prayers for him is appreciated. I'm technically not a animal person, but I'm also not a monster. I understand the companionship that dogs bring to individuals. So I feel for my dad. I'm, dealing with that, but he's doing better today. But it's a big loss for him. So I appreciate you guys and your thoughts for him. But other than that, what do we got going on? Today is Monday. Tonight I go to yoga. I do hot yoga. My daughter comes in today to visit, so she's at UGA, as you know, so I can't wait to have dinner with her tonight. My son came in yesterday. We had some dinner. We had Puerto Rican rice, which is called rice with gandules, which is pigeon peas. And then we had a chicken stew, which the Latino culture calls pollo guisado. Another tip I want to give you guys. So I went to this weekend to have dinner with my wife at a restaurant in Chattanooga called Mayan Kitchen. Mayan Kitchen is a Central American kitchen focused a lot in the Guatemalan cuisine, and they have a chicken that's called uh, pollo, which is chicken, which is in pepian, which is a sauce. It's a saucy chicken, like a stewed chicken, pollo and pepian. Oh, it's delicious. Like, I remember having it when I was a very young boy. My mom used to make it when we were little. I don't know why. Somehow our cuisine at home changed. By the way, I love food. I enjoy eating out. I enjoy going out and eating other cultures' food. And I mean, I'm just a big foodie. So I probably will talk about coffee, food. We're in a college class, so that's about all I talk about, college and food. Other than that, guys, I appreciate your interaction, all your comments. I hope you're having a great week and a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Have a wonderful time. Take care, everyone.